Hello everybody, it is me again, the Theatric Dyspraxic, and you are looking at some boring shots of my apartment. So yeah, you're seeing me on a live stream on Instagram, and I don't really have any particular theme or purpose for this. I don't have a guest. The only thing that I'm doing is taking a walk. Whenever I'm at home and not doing anything, this is usually around the time that I take my walks. And sorry, my stove is a mess, but yeah, it's 7:30 p.m. The sun is starting to go down, and it's a good time for me to, it's not too hot, it's not too bright, and I get to watch the sunset. And this is sort of how I relax. A lot of people, when they get home, whenever they relax, they usually like to sit down and watch TV or whatever, or crack open a cold beer. And I do enjoy those types of things, but what really helps me relax and wind down is taking walks. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And if I lose the connection at any point, then I'm just gonna start it over again. And just going to talk during, and whatever comes to mind, whatever I end up saying. And if anybody has anything they'd like to talk about or questions they'd like to ask. Otherwise, I'm just going to comment on things as I pass by them. It's still a little bit bright. The sun hasn't started really setting yet, but it's about to start. This is my apartment complex, College Park Apartments in Weatherford, Texas. Somebody and his dog. There's more people out than I expected there to be. How's everybody doing? The one person that's tuning in. I'll talk more when there's less people around. I guess everybody decided to go out today. Usually there's not so many people out. Yeah, it's really not that bad of a day. It's not too hot. But yeah, this is College Park Apartments. We live way in the back, which gets kind of annoying sometimes because when we need to do laundry, our laundromat is like all the way in the front. And unless my brother drives us, which only happens if we're both doing laundry, which usually rarely happens at the same time. And then I have to carry a big bag of clothes, all the way across the complex. And, of course I don't wash my clothes often enough to do just a little bit, smaller loads at a time, because I only have so much change that I can use. It's not like having your own washing machine, which is it's hard to do. It's expensive. I guess the one person that was watching this got bored. I'm not surprised. I would get bored with just watching somebody taking a walk too. But it's just something I decided to do. Why not? Who cares? I don't know. People don't really like my live streams. And I often wonder if there's a point to anything that I do, because I don't know. Everything I do is kind of a distraction from all the things that are wrong with me and wrong with my life. And unfortunately, it reminds me of how little worth I really have in the eyes of others. I know it shouldn't matter, the amount of people, the quantity of people who watch or read your stuff. But, you know, whenever you're just such an uninteresting person and people don't really like to see what's going on in your life, it's hard to keep doing it, but this is the only thing I know how to do. Otherwise, what I'm just going to keep everything to myself. And that's it. You know, I'm just be another boring nobody. I'm already another boring nobody, but I don't know. I don't know why I do the things I do. I don't know why I broadcast my sad, pitiful life to people. At this point, I can't really call it a cry for help or anything, because I'm not really somebody who can be helped at this point. I don't know, I wish I could enjoy something simple as just life and living like I did when I was a kid. When I was a kid, just even the most boring, mundane things made me happy, and it didn't matter to me that I didn't have friends or that nobody liked me. It just, I was in a world of all my own. And, yeah. Just waking up on a Saturday morning out in the country, being young. I mean, it's just something about just being a kid that everything just seems great. It doesn't matter if it's boring or not. Just your own imagination was all you needed to be happy. I don't know if anyone can relate to that. Now, as an adult, it's weird whenever you look at your childhood and you remember like your childhood mindset, and then you just jump all the way back to like present day as an adult. You start... fuck. This Weatherford is just a lot of people across the street. This is at the college. I live right across the street from the college, and I usually take a shortcut around this little area. I wonder if anyone's going to join at any point in the middle of this. I mean, it's going to go on YouTube and the IGTV thing later, but people don't really watch those either. Forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, whenever you're just as an adult, you're worried about everything and you're just miserable. It's like, I look at stuff like this, like taking like a leisurely stroll, and it seems like something like, wouldn't that be, isn't that nice? Oh, it's a nice day. Oh, this is a beautiful, greenery, and I'm in nature and stuff. But it's just like, as much as I want it to, it doesn't really mean much to me anymore. Like, just living for the sake of living just isn't enough, and I wish it was. But you can't change your mindset. I got an email from somebody else, nothing important. This would be so much easier if I had someone to talk to while I do this, somebody commenting, but I got 120 something followers and 0 people watch my live streams. And I don't know, I get really depressed and lonely. I know that's really, really pathetic to say, but I don't know. I try not to bum people out, and I try not to depress people, but I recognize my own lack of worth in this world. And as a kid, I didn't really know how worthless of a human being I was going to become, but that's who I am. And it takes a lot for me to not just, I don't know, I shouldn't be talking about this on something like this. Look at the nice little neighborhood that I'm passing through. This is my usual sort of walk route, and soon we'll be by like the town, and there'll be more stuff for me to comment on. But this is just a nice, quiet little neighborhood that I like to pass through. I like passing through quiet neighborhoods, and people do give me weird looks, like I'm some kind of peeping Tom, even though I'm not looking in anybody's window or anything. But that's just how people are. People aren't very friendly. They just kind of look at you, give you that stink eye, that evil glare, like you're there to do something bad. But I'm just passing through, you know. I'm just a bystander, a little passerby, the denizen of Weatherford. I also like looking at people's houses, not inside people's houses, but I like looking at people's houses because, you know, I don't know, they're nice. I never really lived in a really nice house. I guess I have, but not too much. I remember as a kid, I used to look at big Victorian houses and stuff, and they're just so beautiful to me. You know, they got like the terraces and lattice windows, big bay windows and balconies that are just really beautiful. Just the really great architectural design. And you know, I don't know what I lose my train of thought in the middle of my thoughts all the time. That's part of being dyspraxic, is starting to say something and then completely forgetting where you were going with it. And it's really frustrating because you end up using a lot of filler words like and you know and like, and I use them a lot because I never have a consistent, coherent stream of thoughts. You know, the words don't come naturally to me. Even though I'm a so-called writer, you know, those things just don't come naturally to me. I'm better at finishing other people's sentences than finishing my own. And that's a weird predicament to be in. Yeah, there's a lot of sunlight. Sun hasn't quite gone down yet. It probably would have been better for me to do this at like 8. Yeah. Here I go down. Here I go down. And it feels like I'm going down. Oop. I'm about to sneeze. Yeesh. That sun needs to give it a rest. Or I need to turn onto a street that doesn't have the sun just blaring into the shot. Oh yeah, I just, you know, I wanted to live in a Victorian house, you know, when I was a kid. I just loved being in big buildings and big places because I was so small. And then I finally lived in a Victorian house when my parents moved into one when I was about 20 when they moved in, and then when my brother and I moved in with them a couple of years later, we got to have that experience of living in a Victorian house. It wasn't the nicest, but it was a Victorian house, and it was pretty. I mean, it had a beautiful porch, and but just a lot of problems with the house itself. There was a leaky roof. Every time it rained, you get like water dropping on you, and anyway. Oh yeah, and then last time I was at my parents' house, they had like a leak in their roof, and their landlords live like 2 hours away, so they don't come out very often. And if they say there's a problem with the house, they pretty much ignore my parents' requests. So my parents just kind of have to put up with the faulting, the falters of the house, the faulty towers. And last time I was there, we were having breakfast, and it had rained, or it was kind of raining, and just kept feeling like water droplets just hitting my head. I tried to sit at a different part of the table, and then a couple of minutes later, right on top of me again. So I just got away from the table altogether. There's also like doorknobs that broke off and all that, and it's just not a great place. I mean, it was a good house, and they still live there. It's still all right, but just run down, kind of shabby, and because it's old. It's an old house. So that's just a lesson of whenever you look at these Victorian houses, and they're so beautiful, but sometimes they take a lot of repair, because there's a lot of wear and tear with them. Ugh. Other people walking. There's usually not other people walking. Probably look weird with just a guy with the camera and live streaming to an empty audience. That's what I feel like sometimes. I'm so used to doing plays in front of an audience and in front of people, and whenever I am in my own life as me, I often feel like I'm just playing to an empty auditorium, because nobody's invested, nobody likes the plot, nobody likes the character, so they don't really come to see it. Coming across on Main Street now, and this is part of my normal routine. Sometimes I just kind of divert into more quiet residential areas, but now I just thought I'd show some shots on of Main Street. There's a bit too much sunlight. There's a donut place that closes, so really early. Donut places tend to do that. It's a place called Fuzzy's. It's weird how it looks closer in real life and farther on my camera. Same with the sunlight. It doesn't feel like there's as much sunlight, but it's just the sky just looks so bright on my phone. Oh, somebody joined. Hey, Black Royal Cat 68. We did a live stream a couple of weeks ago. It's pretty good. These people, I'm not gonna film them because I don't want them to think I'm just some creep filming people, but people sit outside. There's usually small crowds, and damn, that didn't take long to go back from one person to 0 people watching. I guess as soon as people tune in and they see that I'm just walking and talking, then they tune out right away. They're like, oh, I don't want to watch this. Yeah, that was Fuzzy's. I've been there once. It was alright. It's expensive. And as far as Tex-Mex goes, I usually stick with like Taco Bell or something, because I know it's kind of trashy, but it's good food and it's cheap. You get like a $5 box. Anyway, that's not what I made this live stream about, to talk about Taco Bell. I'm ashamed to admit how many fast food places I've tried in the 2 years that I've lived in Weatherford. But part of being an American is eating fast food. That's right. This is always an uncomfortable place because, you know, I basically have to walk through the brush and I have to avoid getting hit by cars. I look down there a lot. I always wonder, it's kind of messed up, but I always wonder, like, if I jump down there, like, would I die or would I get, like, injured? I have weird thoughts like that. Damn, I really wish somebody was tuning in right now. Yeah. I'm such a loser. Always have been. Probably will be until, you know, until I decide my time is right to go. It will be. I'm sure it will be up to me eventually. Just don't know when. But I feel pretty strongly about it, and I'm pretty blunt about admitting it, which can be dangerous, but I don't know. Life is hard. So am I. You better give me something so I don't die. Oh yeah, so this is the Weatherford 9th Grade Center. It's the one of the high schools in Weatherford. And I don't know why, but they just have an entire school for one grade, freshman. My mom taught at this school for a little over a decade. Taught theater. So I've seen many of her shows. I knew some of her students, not really well, but I was aware of some of her favorite students, and I've seen some of her productions. I can't remember if I've seen them here or if I've seen them at the actual high school, because I think now, at least, whenever the 9th Grade Center puts on plays, they usually perform them in the big auditorium at the high school. One of my friends, Robbie, she attended 9th Grade Center. She was in a play called Puffs, which was about Hogwarts. It was basically a satire on Harry Potter, and she played Harry Potter in that show, and a few other characters. It was really good, really funny. Kind of show that I wish I could have been in it when I was in high school, because it was actually legitimately funny. It's weird looking at teenagers now because they all look the same to me. Back when I was in high school, I felt like everybody had a more unique, whatever you call it, appearance and persona, and a unique kind of look about them. But now when I look at high schoolers, like, most of them just look the same. They look like clones. A lot of the boys look like freaking Clark Kent. Expect them to put on a Superman outfit because they just look, I don't know, they're average looking, but they're I guess good looking in the sense that, like, they got like the short dark hair, they got like the chiseled shovel face that everybody likes for some reason. Me, I was always a weird looking guy. I'm much more weird looking now, But I was kind of a weird looking teenager. I had really bad acne as a teenager. Like, even compared to most people who have bad acne, my acne was really bad. I probably have like scars, but they don't really show up on camera unless I'm like really in the light, which I'd be crazy to show you now. Anyway, sorry if I'm being boring. I know that if anybody watches this, it's gonna be on YouTube or IGTV, and I doubt they'll tune into the whole thing. Why would they? I mean, this is not at all interesting. I don't know, I wish I was a more interesting person. I wish I was a more confident person. I wish I had a reason to be confident in anything. But I don't. That's just how it is. Some people are just, they have something that they're good at, or they have something that makes them interesting or unique. And I'm dyspraxic, but I don't do a very good job at promoting awareness for it. I try by just talking about my life or sharing parts of my life, but it's pretty obvious that it doesn't work because people aren't at all interested in anything that I do. And that's hard sometimes. It's hard to know that people just don't find anything you do interesting. Let me drop down. Ugh. And you just become more depressing, and your self-esteem drops more and more to the point that you just don't even want to go on living. And that's kind of become the person that I've turned into. You know, I was more hopeful when I was younger, but I've seen what life is all about now. You know, and it's not a happy place. It's not a happy thing. At least not for me. Yeah, if you're one of the beautiful people, if you're one of the people that people like, these are the kind of thoughts I usually have when I'm on a walk. That's what's depressing about it. And people always say, well, change your thought processes. Try to think more positive. But how can I be positive if nothing around me is positive? It's like that Eminem song. I forget which song it was, but I think it was like If I Had or something from Slim Shady LP, and he said, how am I supposed to think positive if I don't see shit as positive? And basically that's what it is. It's like there's negativity all around you, and you kind of have to delude yourself to ignore it and pretend that everything is good when it's not. Especially nowadays. Well, I don't even want to say especially nowadays, because, you know, I mean, that's what everybody says. Everybody says that, oh yeah, things have been tough nowadays, but it's kind of the way it's always been. It's just the only difference is that it's just getting worse. But it's always been kind of shitty, I guess. I mean, maybe not always. There was a brief time when things were good. This is like before I was born. And then I came along and wrecked it all. No, I'm not going to blame myself for the decline of Western civilization. But, you know, it's so easy for people, especially when they got things going for them, and they got some good stuff in their life. You know, it's always the people who are like in loving relationships who talk about, oh, you'll find somebody someday. Especially women, you know, women will tell that to a guy, and I find that utterly silly. When a woman says, you just gotta stop looking, and then they'll just find you. I'm like, you do not know how the world works, do you? You do not know how it is to be a man living in the dating world. Just living in the world where you want somebody to pick you out and find you and approach you, but that just doesn't happen, especially when you're older. You know, most of the women my age now are afraid of guys like me. They're afraid of men, especially the men who maybe don't seem like they're wrapped too tight. I mean, I'm not a psycho. I'm not a violent person. I'm not really all that aggressive. I mean, I get frustrated, but I don't take it out on people too much. I take it out on myself more than anything. And that's my biggest problem is I don't have any self-esteem. I don't have any confidence. I don't like who I am. I don't like anything about myself. And I don't know how to fix it. People try to give me advice, but I tried everything, I tried everything I can. People tell me, well, maybe you should go see a doctor. And shit, here we go again. We live in America, I don't have health insurance. I can't get health insurance. I don't get enough hours at my job. I don't get a high enough wage. I was talking to my brother earlier about how I think that there's probably a big correlation between the suicide rate and the quality of life in America. The fact that we don't have universal health care and we don't have the same opportunities because of our wealth status. And that's probably a big contributor. So that's the assholes in Weatherford who are just loud just for the sake of being loud. Completely distracted me. I completely forgot what I was saying. Just the fact that we don't have the same opportunities to have a good quality of life and to achieve the things we want to do and to have a life we want to have, and to the way society is, and it's just even worse now. I mean, I can't even imagine trying to find love in a time like this, in a climate like this, in a culture like this. I mean, it was bad enough before the pandemic because of the Me Too stuff. I know it sounds like I'm one of those guys that's like, he's going to complain about the Me Too movement. The only thing I'm complaining about, and the only thing I'm saying is that men and women have become kind of terrified of each other now. Women are terrified that men are going to abuse them or hurt them in some way. And men are afraid that women are going to accuse them of something, or that they're going to make women uncomfortable. That's what I do, I feel like I always make women uncomfortable. And it sucks because I want to talk to people. I want to have a social life. I'm a very social person. I do like talking to people. I like being around people. I like going out and hanging out with people. The few times that I've gotten a chance to do it in my adult life, I've really enjoyed it. And I've had great times. If I felt comfortable around the people, if I felt like the people welcomed my company and treated me as an equal, then it's great. But it's hard to seek those things now. Because every time I try, I get shot down or I get treated a certain way. And I just don't want to be put in that position, and I don't want them to be put in that position where they feel like I intimidate them in some sort of way. Yeah, we're still heading downtown. It's Main Street's a big street. Just trying to cross it. I usually jaywalk. I jaywalk a lot. Why not? It's a stupid crime. Who cares? Just talking to myself again. Inside sale. Friday. Inside sale Friday. Is this? I thought this was a house. Is this like a building? Like a community building? I go inside, but I don't want to stop the live stream, and I don't want it to turn out to be something else. Weatherford is a very crowded town. I'm gonna head down here. I want to get a shot of the courthouse. It's a church. Sunday worship services online, fumcw.org. You know, things would, I think I'd be a much more confident and happy person if something good really happened in my life. Something, I don't know. It doesn't take much for it to kind of turn around. It's just somebody noticing you, somebody recognizing your talents or, you know, your quality as a person. Of course, even if somebody did tell me these things, I probably wouldn't believe them. I'm just that hard-wired to think of myself in the lowliest way possible, and it's a really toxic mindset. But how do you change it when there's nothing in life that seems to contradict it? It just seems consistent with reality. Like, that's the reality that I know of, is that I've got no purpose in this life. Yeah, I know it's kind of ironic that I'm talking about life being meaningless while I'm passing churches. I don't believe in God, though. I've had talks with people about that sort of thing. They tell me that I should pray or that I should start believing. It's funny how... Hey, kitty. Kitty. It's funny how people act like believing in God and faith is something that you can just turn on like a switch. And that's not how it is. At least not for me. I don't know about some people. I guess some people, they can. Just like, oh, you know what? I'm going to believe this. It's a choice. It's not a choice. There's a lot of churches. It's not a choice for people like me. I mean, sorry, I just don't believe it, you know? I've been an atheist for a long time now, and everything that I've heard just seems to point to the idea, the concept of God being human-made. It just makes sense to me that humans came up with it than it being real. Anyway, I'm not going to lecture anybody on God or religion. There's the courthouse. Something smells good. I don't know what it is. It smells like barbecue. Anybody who doesn't live in Texas, just gotta let you know, our barbecue kicks ass. I'm not like the biggest Texan patriot or anything, but that is definitely something we do right. But I don't get to barbecue that much. It'd be nice if I could have some barbecue chicken, barbecue pork chops, some steak every now and then. Ooh, that'd be great. Trying to get a good shot of the courthouse without looking like I'm filming the courthouse. There it is. It's just, you can't go anywhere in Weatherford without just being around a ton of people. There's people everywhere you go in this town. Because it's got a population of a city, but the zoning of a town, it's the city, the size of the town. It's like a small town. Too many people. That's the cantina. I had a friend who was over at the cantina the other night. It'd be cool if they had let me know that they were there. We could have gone drinking or something together, but they didn't let me know. And they're like, "Well, just come by." And I'm like, "I don't have a car. I walk." And it's like a 40-minute walk to get there. With how populated this town is, it really sucks to work at like a store or work any kind of community service job, just because there's just so many people. Just so many people all over the place. And a lot of people go out, even with everything going on. I mean, Texans don't give a shit about social distancing or wearing masks or anything. I mean, even in the stores, where you're supposed to wear a mask, people will come into the store wearing a mask, and then they'll take it off as soon as they get in, as if it's some kind of like ticket to get in, like some kind of pass, like, "Oh, I have the mask," and then you take it off as soon as you get in. It's like, that's not what you're supposed to do. Yeah, that's a day in the life of the Theatric Dyspraxic. It's where he takes his walks. I feel like I'm zoomed in or something. Ugh. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to say. If I had somebody to kind of bounce off of or have a conversation with, I just kind of feel like I'm rambling about nothing. This is why I'm not good solo. I'm not, if I had like a partner or something, some sort of creative partner to perform with or to have conversations with. I could never do like a solo podcast, because it would be the most boring podcast ever, because it would just be me talking about nonsense. It's like a filibustering type thing. I don't know if you can see that. That's Albertsons. That's where I work currently. For the time being. Until they sack me. Well, probably till I quit. That's a bridge that goes to the theater off the square where oh, there's the train. Say hi to the train, everybody. Can you imagine hearing that all day? Working there? I wonder if I should go inside and say hi to people that I work with. I won't. It'd be weird. It'd be weird if I did. Yeah, theater off the square. I haven't done a play in a long time. Shut up! Yeah, I haven't done a play since the spring, since March. It's the summer now. And won't be doing any more shows in 2020. Which is really sad. I think I only did one, didn't I? Run for Your Wife. That was the only show that I did this year. And I didn't even get to finish the run. And now the theater's going to be dark until at least till next year, and then after that, who knows? Yeah. It's not a good time for actors. Yeah, right, whatever. Whoo! Dos Equis! I've been in love before. I've been in love before. That the bomb in your head. Well, I guess it's about time to start heading back. And I guess I'll document that too. Why not? Who cares? I say, if I ever want to hide something, I just have to hide it either in my channel or my blog, because it'll be the last place anybody will find it. I don't have any fans. I've got like non-fans. I've been in love before. I'm sure they'd rather watch live streams from... I don't even know any popular Instagram vloggers, whatever you call them, Instagrammers, Instagramophones. Museum of the Americas. America, America. Nice little RV. A Winnebago. I don't think that's a Winnebago. I don't know my RVs. Winnebago. I want a bingo. I want a bingo. There's me. This is a place called Shep's Scoreboard. I don't remember if I've ever eaten here. I think it used to be at a different location. I think I've eaten at the other location. Unless it's a different place. But I think it's the same place and they moved it. And I mean, it seems alright. It smells good. I did pick up an application from there before I got hired at Albertsons. And yeah, I was writing about my first week at Albertsons, but I just completely lost interest in it. It's got so boring to write about what's going on in Albertsons. And I don't know, every time I write about myself, I just expose more and more how much of a complete and total loser I am. I know, I'm so negative, aren't I? But I just don't have anything good to say. There's nothing good to say about me. At least, I don't think so. I'm very blunt about my own self-disgust. So sorry about that. I'm sorry if that bothers you, but that's just how it is. It's just how I am. God, it smells good. I'm trying to seem nonchalant about filming, because I'm sure people find it weird. was that about? I hope the dude wasn't talking about me. That was weird. I don't know if anybody heard that or saw anything. That guy was yelling. I don't know if he was yelling at me. I thought I heard him say something about recording. So I don't know if that was about me saying talking shit. I'm not talking shit about anybody. Say one more fucking word. Said something about walking down the street. Well, I don't know what he's so mad about. I mean, there were like 5 people in his car. So I don't know, I thought he was talking to somebody else. He didn't look like he was talking to me. But the things he said kind of made it seem like maybe he thought I was walking down the street talking shit about people. I don't know. Maybe you'll see me get my ass kicked on this live stream. There was this dude that came up to me the other day when I was taking a walk. He was like on a motorcycle. And he comes up to me. And I turn around and I'm just like, oh crap. And he's like, oh, sorry, I thought you were somebody else. I was about to come up to you and Glock you. Or sorry, he's like, I was about to come up to you and start swinging. And I was like, okay. And he's like, oh, I thought you were somebody else. I thought you were this guy who's talking to this little girl on Snapchat. Yeah, I was like, talking about, I think it was like his ex-best friend, he said. I was like, no, I'm certainly not that guy. I don't even have Snapchat. I want to know what that guy's deal was. That was fucking weird. That guy was angry. He was angry at somebody. He said, well, say one more fucking word. There's no way that there's anything I could have done to make him that angry. Anything that he would have heard me saying, because I mean, gosh, if I'm talking shit about anybody, I'm talking shit about myself. That's all I ever really do. I mean, and Karens. I will talk shit about Karens. But, so does the rest of the world. I think I'm going to take a turn down somewhere and walk down a residential neighborhood while, where it's not so loud, where it's a bit quieter. Not so many cars. Wait for that guy to come around and jump me. This is a day in the life of the Theatric, Dyspraxic. Fumka, parking. Fumka, parking. Huh. Hello everybody, I'm just walking down the street talking shit. I wonder if that came up on the camera, if people heard, or if you could hear that. I know the best neighborhood to walk down. Well, maybe not the best, but it's a fine neighborhood. It seems peaceful. It seems nice. get run over by the hordes of people. There we go. Walk down Gibson. Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow. Sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. He's in the freakiest show. Take a look at the lawman beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if he'll ever know. He's in the best-selling show. Is the life on Mars? Gibson. I don't even know what they sell. I see Sprites in the window. And I see grills and patio furniture outside. So I'm guessing it's like patio stuff. Outdoor kind of stuff like you see at Tractor Supply. Gibson! Yeah, just sodas, Coke, whatnot. I don't know, I can't really see on the shelves. And if I can't see it, I'm sure you can't see it either. And the world with the clearest view. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of David Bowie lately. Trying to listen to his albums, because I've never really heard him. I've just heard like songs, select songs. Like Changes. Space Oddity, you know, his big hits. And, well, I heard Hunky Dory. That was like the only one of his songs that I heard. Or one of the albums that I heard, sorry. I'm still thinking of that guy that was yelling. Hunky Dory is still, I think, his best album so far that I've heard. I've heard up to Diamond Dogs was the last one that I heard. And I enjoyed it. Young Americans is my next one. My friend Jake told me I think that was his favorite Bowie album. And then Station to Station I'm interested in hearing just because it was referenced in the song Californication by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, some nice houses. I'm trying not to film people's houses, you know. It's a bit creepy. And the night in a million hearts, from the dawn to the Norfolk Broads. Read. Take a free book or add one. Grand Tour, The Virgin's Lover. I think it's a nice thing that these people are doing, just kind of giving out free books. I don't know if any of these books are some that I would find interesting. Robin McGraw, Dr. Phil's wife, she wrote a book, Orchids for Dummies. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be taken from here anytime soon. The Life and Music of George Jones, Charlotte's Web, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Yeah, nothing I'd find interesting, but I like what they're doing. I like the fact that they have just free books, you know. Encourage people to read. I mean, that's a great thing. Beautiful houses. There are small houses around here, but they're nice. Alright, well, that's the end of this one. I'm gonna live stream the rest of my walk. So, yeah, I'll see you in a bit for part 2. It won't be as long, probably, because it won't take as long, but yeah.